The transitive verb signifies the tense as the second role of the verb to reveal the gap between the present when the speaker states the clause in the conversation with the listeners, and the point in time when the subject-object relationship mediated by the transitive verb is actualized. The transitivity described by the transitive verb reveals the information about the gap between the present and the time when the definition of the transitive verb is actualized. Unlike this transitive verb, the preposition does not signify the point in time when the subject-object relationship mediated by the preposition is actualized. The preposition mediates the subject and the object, but the preposition does not reveal the gap between the present and the point in time when the definition of the preposition the point in time when the subject-object relationship mediated by the definition of the preposition is actualized is the same as the point in time when the definition of the verb, which is applied with the preposition in the same clause, is actualized. In a clause that a verb describes the subject and reveals the tense to signify the gap between the present and the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized, the preposition reveals the relationship between the subject of the preposition and the object of the preposition at the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized. So this point is the present, and this point is the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized. And at this time, the definition of the preposition is actualized. We can also figure out that the preposition specifies the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized. The role of the preposition as an adverb is also applied well with this explanation, because the adverb specifies the definition of the verb, especially the preposition specifies the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized. This conveys the intention of the speaker, who emphasizes that the experience, condition, or action indicated by the object of the preposition lasts for the period to include the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized. This is the x-axis for the time. The specification by the definition of the preposition is a change of the perspective on the period. The period that is a second can be considered as a point in time, but the speaker who wants to specify the point in time, a second, can specify as a period that an experience, a condition, or an action. The object of the preposition to indicate an experience, a condition, or an action is revealed by a gerund to signify that the experience, condition, or action lasts for a period. The gerund indicates an experience, a condition, or an action that lasts for a period. So the speaker who wants to indicate an experience, a condition, or an action lasting for a period applies the gerund. The trait of the preposition, which is a sort of adverb, is applied by the speaker who specifies the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized, so that the speaker reveals the intention to emphasize that the experience, condition, or action as the object of the preposition lasts for a period to include the specified point in time. The point in time when the definition of the verb in a clause is actualized is specified as a period. Even the short period, like a femtosecond, can be specified into the more period. That's the perspective of the speaker to split the period with the intention. The phenomenon that the object of the preposition to indicate an experience, condition, or action is stated in the form of the gerund is because the preposition alone does not reveal the information about the time. The form of the gerund as the object of the preposition reveals the reliance, the tense of the verb in a clause. This phenomenon is able to be understood with the fact that the definition of the preposition is conveyed to the object of the preposition to indicate the experience, condition, or action reliant on the point in time when the definition of the verb is actualized. There is a clause. The bird gets a piece of bread for feeding the child. There is a preposition for. The object of the preposition is stated in the form of the gerund, feeding. The phrase of the noun, the child, is the object of the gerund, feeding. So we can say that the object of the preposition for is the phrase of the gerund, feeding the child. The subject of the clause, the bird, gives the action indicated by the transitive verb get to the object of the transitive verb get, a piece of bread. The object of the transitive verb get, a piece of bread, is the subject of the preposition for. The subject of the preposition a piece of bread conveys the definition of the preposition for to the phrase of the gerund, feeding the child. With the prior understanding that the preposition for mediates the subject and the object at the time when the verb of the clause describes the subject. So when the subject is described by the transitive verb get, the subject of the preposition for, a piece of bread, gives the definition of the preposition for to the object of the preposition, feeding the child. The form of the gerund, feeding, reveals the concurrency between the time when the definition of the transitive verb mediates between the subject, the bird, and the object, a piece of bread, and the preposition mediates the subject, a piece of bread, and the action indicated by the phrase of the gerund, feeding the child. The preposition for specifies the point in time that The subject, the bird, is described by get. The subject, the bird, conveys the action indicated by the transitive verb get to the object, a piece of bread, of the transitive verb. The subject conveys the action indicated by the transitive verb get to the object, a piece of bread, of the transitive verb get. The object of the transitive verb is the subject of the preposition. The object of the preposition a piece of bread is the subject of the preposition for. The speaker emphasizes the point in time when the subject, the bird, conveys the action indicated by the transitive verb get to the object, a piece of bread, of the transitive verb in a way to specify as the period when the subject, a piece of bread, of the preposition for actualizes the definition of the preposition. The point in time when the definition of the transitive verb get actualizes is specified as a period that the object of the preposition for, that is the phrase of the gerund, feeding the child, is actualized. So, the object of the preposition has the form of the gerund, feeding, to reveal the concurrency with the actualization of the action indicated by the transitive verb get. This happens because the preposition does not reveal the gap between the present and the point in time when the preposition mediates the subject and the object.